Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video, and today we'll be taking on the brand new 4.7 Spiral Abyss with an F2P Clorinde. Now, as you can see, we will be using the R5 Finale of the Deep, C0 as you would expect, and then we do have our talents pretty leveled up, but I will go more in detail into character builds at the end of the video. But the main thing about today's video is that we are currently up against a record-breaking Spiral Abyss where the 12-2 has the most HP that 12-2 has ever had, and same with 12-3, with the boss in 12-3 having 2.2 million HP. But you know what, hopefully that will not be a problem for our Clorinde. We will be using her in the first half, and this is the team we will be using. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a Kaza, so we will be using Sucrose instead, who actually has more buffing potential than Kaza, but it's more inconsistent because you only have like about half uptime with her on this team, just because of how durations, ER, and cooldowns work on this team. But she's still pretty decent. I think actually if you play her perfectly, she is actually a better buffer than Furina in these teams, which is nice. But then obviously you don't have the AoE or the extra heal, the AoE of Kaza or the extra healing of Furina. But then on the second half, now it will be easy to use a Novelette team, but instead we will be going for a mono hydro Ayato team using Furina and Yelan, which will hopefully get the job done. But yeah, with that being said, let's just get right into the video. Alright, and here we are in the first chamber, and now we can get ourselves an elemental burst damage boost, which I mean, it's an okay buff, but it's nothing special. Anyway, obviously we're just going to mark all the enemies with Dendro and get the EM share from Nahida's burst. And now we just do a lot of damage. And can I just say, I love Clorinde's gameplay so much. There's just so many numbers and everything just dies so fast. Like, unironically, Clorinde might be one of my favorite characters to play in the game. She's actually so fun. Especially when you get to just, like, zoom in between a bunch of enemies. I also just love her burst animation, man. It's so good. Like, she's melting things right here. Now, it would be nice if she had some innate interruption resistance in her kit, but hey, man, Hoyover's got Gay to pull the Constellation somehow, so guess we can't be too greedy. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice here if we had a Kaza, just because, I mean, I've done a couple of tries already on this floor, but when these guys, like, just stop grouping up, they can be a bit annoying. But other than that, it's not too bad of a floor. These guys can get a bit annoying. Honestly, you just need to make sure that your E hits all the enemies and that everyone's marked with Dendro and stuff, and that we don't get CC to high hell here. Okay, never mind, we're fine. Now, hopefully we'll be able to take out the bird, and these guys can get disabled relatively close to each other. Oh, perfect. And that right there is a good clear with about 15 seconds left. So we clear that in about 75 seconds, which I will gladly take. Now, we do have a lot of pyro on this floor, which is obviously very convenient. We are getting stunned a bit there. Okay, I would have rather if I'd have been able to go over to the other Abyss Mage, but hey, it is what it is. Luckily, we have a ton of Hydra application on this team. The auto-targeting is slightly annoying, but on the bright side, with Clorinde's E, obviously you can aim it for where you want to dash, which is always fun times. I do like it when characters give us the ability to dash, but yeah, anyway, when it comes to rotation on this team, we normally go for Ayato's burst into a Furina EQ because it has a longer duration than Yelan's EQ, and then Jean EQ because VV uptime, and then in all that time we will have all our buffs up for our Ayato and still have some wiggle room, which is always very nice, which is why I actually quite enjoy this team, because the cooldowns can line up pretty much perfectly if you get everything right, and you get so many hydro particles you don't really need to worry about EM. Dude, I got stuck on their summon. I swear, if I failed this run because I got stuck on a summon, then I'm not going to be very happy. Also, I need to not die here. Okay, we can just snipe this guy pretty much. Okay, nice. We are slightly lacking in energy. Slightly ironic after I was just talking about how good the energy recharger in this team is. But anyway, now, once again, Kaza will be so nice because these guys just love to run away from each other, which is ever so slightly annoying. We did miss our E there, which is also a bit annoying, but we should be fine. Okay, the one problem is this team can be a bit difficult when it comes to cycling through rotations. Just gonna get my VV there, and we should be... No, it's targeting the guy with the lower HP. I wanted to target the guy with more HP. Please, last second. Okay, we clutched up there in the end. I was so close to having to retry. I've already failed a run by 1 second. If we had failed because it started auto-targeting the wrong guy, and also because we got stuck on the little Pyrolactus summon, I would have been incredibly mad. But on the bright side, we can move on to the second chamber now. Alright, second chamber time, and we do get ourselves an attack buff, which is nice for both our Clorinde as well as our Ayato. Now the thing is, this will actually cap our Clorinde's attack above 3k, just because we have Thrilling Tales on Sucrose, so and we already get 2.9k attack with that, so yeah, we're actually going to get quite a lot, but you know what, not too bad. Now luckily, okay, I do want to explain my rotation here a little bit. Basically we are just doing nahida EQ for EM, then fischl E, just so that we can get the Electro, but I'm not going to be using Sucrose's ult yet, just because I want to save the ult for after he does his little attack. Now, okay, there we go, and this should line up perfectly with what I want to do. There we go, we swell Electro, and okay, beautiful, yeah. Basically, just the thing is, Sucrose's VV really depends on her burst, which is why you kind of want to line up when you use the burst with whenever you get higher DPS windows. And thanks to that, we managed to clear this in less than a minute, 55 seconds, to kill a, I think, 1.4 million HP boss. Now, obviously, the 12-3 is where it gets really hard, because that's where we have a 2.2 million HP boss, but, you know, we should be fine. Now, honestly, normally I would do, like, a couple of Spiral Abyss videos, but since we're going to have a lot of Honkai Star coming out with Firefly Rowan May, as well as the new game mode, I honestly feel like maybe what I'm going to do is I'll just, before that comes out, maybe I'll make a video probably like talking about the best teams you can use, and then later on, after all the HSL content has calmed down, then I will probably upload my individual clear videos. But I mean, anyway, we're doing pretty decent for ourselves here. Luckily, these guys are grouped up, so they're taking quite a bit of damage from all our AoE abilities. Now, obviously, we do have a lot of time for this chamber, because our Clorinde, I mean, like I said, 55 seconds, she is going to be one of the best characters you can use for this Abyss, especially when the Blessing helps her out a lot. And remember, we're using a pretty F2P build on her, because we are obviously using Finale of the Deep instead of Black Sword, which is currently on my Ayato, which, you know, if I don't have that many swords, so I did end up putting Black Sword on Ayato, but yeah, these dogs should die relatively quickly as well. Most of these guys we can kill in one rotation to about like 1.5 rotations. Normally what will happen is we don't kill them on our rotation, but we'll kill them during the setup of our rotation. So then we can go straight into a setup as soon as the enemy spawn, which is very nice. Now, obviously, this guy is going to knock us back a fair bit, so we are kind of going to rely on burst iframes here. So just going to go into an E there. Okay, he's already chilled out, which is very nice. So we should actually have quite a lot of time to clear here, which I will gladly take now. Since we do have, since our sack did proc, then I am just going to use our ult there, and we should be fine. And we clear with about 20 seconds left. So, yeah, I mean, obviously this floor would be nice. The Ayato team, I feel like actually a better team would be if we had Xingqiu, Yelan, Kazuha, but like I said, I don't have Kazuha on this account, unfortunately. I keep missing out on him, but yeah, it is what it is. That was Chamber 2, relatively easily, but now we move on to Chamber 3, and the highest HP boss in Spiral Abyss history, so, you know, let's just move right on to that. Alright, and here we are in Chamber 3. Now, unfortunately, we don't get a good blessing, but, you know, it is what it is. Now, we are just going to use our E there, and once again, we're not going to be using our Sucrose ult, just because we want to line up when we have a bigger DPS window. We're just going to try output as much damage as we can possibly. Okay, normally he will stick around for a bit longer, but it's fine, it shouldn't be too bad. Now we can actually use our burst, and hopefully, okay, yeah, we basically have our Clorinde burst up right now, which is very nice. The Electro does get swelled, and we do, I mean, there's too many numbers to see how much damage we're doing, but we're doing pretty big damage. I think I see 20k, which is actually pretty nice considering the fact that since we just used TTDS earlier, it would still be on cooldown, so I'd expect around 24k when we actually have a completely perfect rotation with all of Sucrose's buffs up at the same time. I mean, Sucrose just gives us an insane amount of buffs, and also we're doing a lot of damage considering the fact that this boss has 2.2 million HP. Like I said, this is the most in Spiral Abyss history. Now, I have actually had a few clears higher than this, but then I keep dying on the second half because consecrated beasts are annoying. So we're going to end up clearing this in about 65 seconds. There you go. Although I have gone clears under a minute. I've gone like 58-second clears, again, against, once again, 2.2 million HP. Now, this floor is incredibly annoying if you don't have grouping, which I do not, because these guys will literally just fly away from each other, and is the most annoying thing ever. Like I said, I could have used Nivelette, which would have made this floor so much easier, but, you know, I just had to make things difficult for myself, and I wanted to showcase Ayato because I'm sure every single showcase from here is going to be using Neuvillette, so, you know, might as well switch it up a little bit. But there we go. Okay, the thing is, it's not the consecrated beasts themselves which is a problem. They're not too bad. The problem is killing them at the same time as killing these summons, which is so annoying. Like, I unironically would have rather fighting 2 consecrated beasts instead of 1 consecrated beast and 2 summons, because at least then they could have like grouped up together more conveniently. Whereas now I have to make sure I kill both the summons and the consecrated beasts. Like, I had a run fail by 2 seconds because I couldn't kill a crab in time. So take from that what you will. Like I said, grouping, if you have it, very useful. The best team I could possibly recommend for this would be something like Neuvillette, Furina, Baiju, and Kazuha. But if you don't have Kazuha and you have an Ayato lying around, feel free to use Ayato, because although, I mean, obviously it's not going to be as good as Neuvillette. And the thing is, this is actually a very single target heavy focus team, because then you have Ayato, Furina, and yelan's damage all focusing on one enemy. Whereas in this team, in this situation, obviously you can't just focus down on one enemy. But once again, we are doing a lot of damage if we are just hitting one enemy. Okay, don't die here, please. I want to get my fanfare up, and there we go. Okay, we should be fine. Okay, we cleared with 8 seconds left to spare. Now obviously it's a pretty slow clear for our Ayato, but the main focus of today's video was obviously on our Clorinde, and she managed to clear the first half, like the first floor in about 75 seconds, the second in sub 1 minute, and she can also do the other in sub 1 minute. And bear in mind that this is an F2P Clorinde with an F2P weapon. We are using nahida, and we are using fischl, but we're using a sucrose instead of a kaza, which is, you know, you can definitely get more investment out of your Clorinde if you just give her like a better weapon, better artifacts, and just, you know, use a kaza instead of a sucrose, because his buffs will be more consistent. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, Clorinde is honestly OP in single target. Like her, and she's also good in AoE if you group enemies with kaza, which, like I said, I don't have, so my AoE performance of my Clorinde will drop significantly, but we still managed to clear 4 waves in 75 seconds, which I will gladly take. So yeah, that being said, it is time now to move on to the character builds. Alright, there we go, and that was the video. Now, as you can see, our Clorinde absolutely shine. Now, when it comes to our build, like I said already, she is on the finale of the deep weapon. I would normally use her on Black Sword, but first of all, I wanted her to be F2P for this showcase, and then also our Ayato kind of needed it, because as you can see, I don't have many other good swords on our account, so unfortunately it's a full F2P showcase considering our Ayato, but the star of today's video was Clorinde anyway. But yeah, this is our stats. We have 52 crit. This obviously does go up to 72 with her passive, and 206 crit damage, along with 124 ER, so we can basically get her ult up every single time. Now when it comes to our pieces, my fragment on this account is actually pretty decent in comparison to my main account. On that account, I have a curse, which I like to call the 24 CV curse, because I cannot get a single piece above 24 CV for the most part, especially when it comes to the flowers and feathers. I have like 6 pieces which are all exactly 24 CV, and I would rather have about, I don't know, like at least 30 CV. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, some of our pieces here, like our circlet and our sand, aren't the best 23 CV here, and then just 2 rolls on crit, but luckily there are max rolls, but I would prefer to have like above 8 at least, maybe around like 9-ish, but it's fine, I never get lucky in circuits. Anyway, this is obviously the star of this. This is a 41 CV feather, and then, you know, we have 26 here. This flower is better, but this is what I would normally use if I was using Black Sword, but that, because then we have like 90 crit to like 220 crit damage, but, you know, I'd rather the stats be fairly balanced. So yeah, that is our Clorinde. Just when it comes to our nahida, you know, this is how she's looking. She's on prototype Amber just because the healing can be a little bit nice on this team, and we don't need to put it on our Neuvillette, so I can afford to put it there. Although I would normally have her on sack frags. And then her EM is 771. This will go up to plus 150 with the EM buff, so this will be 920 once we include the gilded. It would be nice to get her to 1k for more EM share, but then again we also get EM from our sucrose, so it shouldn't be too bad. And then this is how our fischl is looking. Unfortunately, she is not C6, she is only at C3. So once again, your clear can get even better than mine. If you have a better build on some of your characters and just better artifacts and a cousin instead of a sucrose, then I'm sure you could probably clear some of the floors in anywhere between 50 to 40 seconds. If you have her signature weapon, maybe even 30 seconds. But yeah, when it comes to sucrose, we do have her on 195 ER plus 500 EM. You don't really need more than 500 EM. Then obviously we do have TTDS here just for the usefulness, and then this is just how her stats are looking. And C6, which is very nice because her C6 will give you a nice elemental damage bonus, which will help out both your Clorinde and your fischl. So yeah, that's our first half team. Like I said, the stars of the show. Then when it comes to our Ayato, thanks to Black Sword, he will, and plus Marche, this will be 101 crit rate to 212 crit damage. And like I said, obviously I'm on Black Sword, Marche, pieces are decent, just making sure I can get to 100 crit whilst also having over 200 crit damage. C0 to 1010 talents. Furina is 61 crit, 200 crit damage, 173 ER. Now obviously since we have a lot of hydro particles in this team, we could obviously go for less. But, you know, I'd rather just be safe than sorry. And basically the same thing applies to our Yelan, who's also decently invested in. I mean, obviously just Fav just gives us so many more particles. I just love all the particles we get in that team, which is also useful for battering our Jean as well, who is also a core part in making sure we have all of our uptime on furina. You know, just 225 ER, making sure we have enough. And actually, yeah, 52 healing bonus thanks to the circular. But yeah, that's basically it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. As you can see, Clorinde made the first half look like a piece of cake and very much carried us through it. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys found this useful or enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. You know, what are your guys' experiences? What teams are you using? How have you felt about the new spike in difficulty in the Crown Spiral Abyss? But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.